Hello, good morning to you all. How are you doing today? We're going to be making a lovely necklace. I have one here on the bust to show you. I've named it Regan because I think it's quite regal looking. We're going to be using gorgeous pearl drops, a little bit of chain to create that movement. Have a little close-up look. Of course, I'll show you them over on the website and I'll show you them down on the mat. So we have some lovely colorways for you. I think there's 4 in total. Each of your kits is going to make 2 necklaces. Just pop that down. 2 necklaces, and we've got a little discount on for you as well. So if I just show you it down on the mat as well, you'll see how it looks. This is it laying flat, and then of course when it's worn, these pearls will dangle and move, and it's just really pretty and a nice easy make as well. So drop me a comment, how are you doing, what have you been up to? Oh, thanks, Anastasia, says Natalie. That's beautiful. Good morning to Rachel. She is saying in response that her family as well, which is really, really good to hear. Anastasia's all the way in from Atlanta, Georgia, across the pond, 22 degrees here. I don't know weather-wise. It's not as cold as it has been, but it's still very much winter. Good morning, Heather. How are you doing? She says good morning to myself and to all the beading friends. I'm going to take you over to the website now and I will show you these lovely makes. It is a straightforward make. You don't need many tools. You can, if you want to, use a little looper tool, which I'm probably going to use. I'll show you both ways around. You might need some cutters to cut your tiger tail, which is what I'm stringing the main body of the frame onto. If you haven't got a looper tool, then you're going to need some round nose pliers and some chain nose pliers as well. That's about it. It's pretty straightforward. So over we go to the website. We are, of course, totallybeads.co.uk. Here is where you'll find all of our makes. And if you head into the video tutorial section, there's lots of ways to get into it. You can click on this one with our makes and our faces on, and that will take you to what we've been making fairly recently. Some really lovely different makes there for you to choose from, whether it be a necklace or a bracelet or a pair of earrings. Scroll down a little bit until you find Regan if you're looking for today's tutorial, and you'll see Simon's been a little bit savvy. I've sent photographs of my makes and you can see that I have got the makes here, so I have actually made them, but he's changed them a little bit so you can see how they're worn. Saves me modeling them for you. He's created these images so you can see how they look on the neckline, but we will be showing you the actual products. So if we ever have like an AI, which is what this is, and you can see who's she, she's it's out of stock already. Well, you see, having it modeled is obviously proven that it works when people can see what they look like. I will double check with him because I checked a moment ago and they were all in stock, so hopefully they will still all be in stock. I'm trying to figure out what it might be that's out of stock. Sometimes he only puts so many onto the website and then obviously you can just replenish that, so hopefully that won't be a problem. But the AI is this lovely model. Maybe she's a real person, I don't know, I've never met her. It's not me. I'd like to say it's me with some makeup on, but obviously when you can see how they're worn, they obviously look very beautiful, but I will show you the actual products as well, so you know that they are true to life. This one is the ivory and the deep blue. Oh, there we go. It looks like it's back in stock again now already. So it is £9.89. Should be £10.99 for this kit. So that's a 10% discount already, and you are getting 2 necklaces in this. So this is how this colourway looks together. You're going to get some glass round beads. You're going to get your pearl drop beads as well, your chain, your Tigertail wire, and all your findings. So your clasps, your headpins, your jump rings, your culottes, and your crimps. I did have another photo of what that looks like down on the map, but that was the one that I showed you on the bust. Or was that the one that I showed you on the mat? See, now this is what I don't like. When AI is edited, this is not how it actually is. I'm going to call this out now. So on my sample, I'm alternating between the 2 colours of the pearls. The 2 colours of the pearls, they're on matching. They're also wrapped loops on those. You could do wrap loops, but I haven't made wrap loops on mine. I'm going to get that colourway up. Which one is this one? This one's the ivory one. And I'm going to show you how it actually is. because I think mine's better, but I will show you how. You can see how the colours look together. So your products there are £9.89 for ivory and deep blue. They're all the same price. They do just change in the colour. I hadn't noticed that. That's annoyed me because I'm meticulous in terms of how I've placed my beads. This one is your purple and lavender. This is how it looks flat on the mat. So they do slightly change in colour. You've got those lavender shades with that beautiful kind of pale bluishy lavender as well. In terms of your dimensions, your chain is a 3 by 2 by 5 millimetre. 2.5 millimeter, sorry. You're using the 8 by 16 millimeter drops. So they're the same size drop, but you'll get them in two different colors. So you'll get the lavender and you'll get the violet blue. And then I've paired these with the light purple glass round pearls, which are 8 millimeter in size as well. So that's how this one looks. I'm going to tell them off. I'm going to say it was lovely. It clearly worked because the product sold, but I don't think they did them justice. This one is the sea glass, turquoise and teal. So this is how this one looks. Again, that's on the gold chain. Some are on the gold findings, some are on the silver. I'm using the teal and the turquoise for this one. And your dimensions are here at the bottom. And then I'm using the sea glass for the round pearls, which will just run through the main body of the necklace. And then lastly, we also have this one, which is white, blue and grey. You can't see too close up, isn't she beautiful? She's gorgeous. And this is how it looks. And I will show you them down on the mat as well. So each of your kits today, just £9.89 with that 10% discount off, and it's making 2 necklaces. So a great price for 2 necklaces. Don't forget, if you need to change the currency, you can do so here at the top of the screen to wherever you are in the world, and all your shipping will be included on there. So there's 4 colours for you to choose from: the ivory and deep blue on the gold, the purple and lavender on the silver, the chain and the findings being that colour, that's why. And then your sea glass and turquoise teal are on the gold, and then white, blue and your grey beads are on the silver as well. So 2 of each to choose from, 4 gorgeous colours. Each kit is going to make 2. I wonder if I can refresh that, whether they will be back in stock. No, I will check with Simon. I'm sure we do have them. I apologise if you're trying to buy them here and now and they're not available. Let me take you back down on the mat so I can show you how the deep blue and ivory actually look in real life. Let me bring this up. So I've just popped it back onto the desk. So you can see here, I have alternated the colours. I am going blue, ivory, blue, ivory, blue, ivory. There's not 2 together. Didn't make the mistake. And I haven't done wrap loops with these. I'm just turning a loop and adding that onto the chain. If you want to do wrap loops with them, you can do. I tend to find headpins a little bit stiffer to turn a wrap loop than I would say the softer metal wire that you tend to get on the ball pins. But if you want to wrap loop, you can wrap loop. I just don't think it's necessarily needed, providing you're turning those loops and closing them over properly. So that is how the necklace looks. Maybe I should model them in future and say, this is how they look on the model. You get to see my face. Lucky you. I'll pop them on the bust. That's how it looks. There you go. You've just got that one there. There you go. Beautiful. They're really, really lovely. And very straightforward to do. So we will get making now. I'm going to say a quick hello to anybody I have missed in the comments section, and we will start getting making. Heather says she's liking the teal. Joanne says my favourite colour is blue, but I'm loving the lavender and the purple and the sea glass. Happy birthday to Carol. Can we all wish Carol a happy birthday? She is 70 today. I hope you have a wonderful day, Carol. Good morning to Anne. Everyone sending you all the love. Carol wishing you a very happy birthday. Good morning to Camille. She's asking how everyone is. She's got lovely blue sky. I haven't. It's very overcast here. Ooh, Furnace Boss born to see her first snowdrop this week, meaning spring is not too far away. Thanks, Angela. Says the necklace looks lovely. Hi, Barbara. How you doing? Pretty necklaces for Friday morning, says Joanne. I haven't seen any snowdrops at all. I've got loads of bluebells that usually come out into my front garden, and because we've still got the skip on the front, there's nothing coming out. Right, let's get making. I'm going to start with my tiger tail, which is going to make the main frame of my necklace. You can see it's already curved into that beautiful necklace shape because it's just a wonder product to use. So I'm using about 45-ish centimeters with that. You can use 50 if you want, but 45 should be enough. I'm going to start by popping on my culotte to one end. This is going to act as my bead stopper because I know my design and how many I'm working with. So I'm just going to add on my culotte and then my 2 crimp beads. So sliding those 2 crimps onto the end of the tiger tail. I'm not quite in angle. We had a whoopsie with my camera stand this week while trying to mop the floor, so it's moved, but hopefully I'm in shot. I'm just going to press down with my crimp beads pliers. You can crimp them if you want to. I don't need to, so I'm just flattening them. So I've got these needle nose ones here. You can use your chain nose as well, and I'm just flattening those crimp beads in the same direction, close up to each other. So when I slide my culotte over, they fit nicely in the middle, and then if I've got any extra tiger tail, I can trim it off. If not, I'm just going to close it over with my finger. Oh, make sure those crimp beads stay inside. If it's not fully closed, and it won't be, you do need your tools just to press ever so slightly down to close that up fully. And then those crimp beads are hidden inside and my crimps in place. I'm going to start off by threading on 17 pieces of my 8mm pearls. So let's slide these over and add these on one by one. So I'm going to add 17 of these on. This is going to give me a nice length before I start adding in my chain and my drops. I'll count them afterwards just to make sure. We want to make sure it's even, so my chain and my drops will be in the center. So we want however many on one side is going to be on the other when we've finished adding the center point to it. So I'm going to go for 17 on either side of the chain, and then there'll be 15 in the middle. Let's do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I'm going to slide those up, and they're going to just finish at the culotte. Nice and tight. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the end of my chain. So I've got my chain, there's about 45 centimeters of the chain as well. And you can see I'm using the gold one here. So it's dainty, it's delicate, but it's nice. And I'm just going to check that that end is fully closed. Sometimes when you open and close it, if you're opening it like a jump ring, you might have a little gap, and we want to make sure it's fully closed so it stays on. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tiger tail. I'm going to use my tiger tail as a bit of a needle for this bit. And I'm just going to slide the chain. I've got one long length of chain, and I'm sliding the chain through that link at the end. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to count 15 links, and I'm going to pop a pearl on. Let's just open up another strand. I tied a knot so they didn't fall off. So I'm just going to take one of my pearls. I'm going to place this on. So I've got my chain and then another pearl. And then I'm going to count 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I'm going to count 15 links. You can measure if it's easier for you. So you could say I'm going to be using about 3 centimeters. Or or just over an inch with the chain. I'm going to count my links because I can just then with my Tigertail and then slide that one through. And you can see I've got a little dangly bit now sitting around that pearl. On with the next pearl. Then count these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'm going to do this 15 times. I'm going to add on my pearl. And then I'm going to count my chain sections. So I tend to just lay it out and use the end of my Tigertail and count in the loop. That's the link that's through the Tigertail already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 links. Slide that on through the Tigertail. And there we go. My next little chain drop. So I'm just going to keep going with that, really straightforward. You'll do a little bit of counting or a little bit of measuring. I think it's easier to just count. And it doesn't have to be completely exact, but it looks neater if it is. The chain will move round, that's absolutely fine. You'll just reconfigure it at the end when you're popping your chain drops on. Can you see? It's starting to take shape already. Hi Pauline, how you doing? Ooh, Heather's got some needle nose pliers for Christmas. I love them. I mean, I use them for wire work. I don't really do as much wire work as I'd like, just not having enough time really. But they are perfect for wire work because they just get in those kind of little tiny bits. But actually, when I am flattening down my crimps at the end of my make, I can get right in. So they are really helpful. But you don't have to have them. They're not a necessity. Chain nose work just as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Through the Tigertail, going through that link in the chain, and then adding on the next pearl. Now you don't have to have as many drops in your necklace if you don't want to. I just think it looks nice to go through the center. So we're going to repeat this 15 times. So I'm going to have 15 pearls in between, and I'm counting 15 links. Taking it through, adding on the next pearl, and repeating again. So just keep it flat on your mat. And don't worry if it's spacing out at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Just take the Tigertail through the link in the chain, adding on your next pearl, and then repeat. And if you are counting the links, your chain should of all be equal little drops. That one's just twisted over. So you're getting that nice space. There's Camille counting along with me. I knew you'd like today, Camille. There's lots of counting to be done. Let's take these ones off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ready. So you don't have to watch me keep counting. I won't count out loud. We count in different languages. We've done that before. 15 through the loop, in the chain, back through the next pearl to hold it in place. $15 links, and through the next one. So why I'm counting, Carol, what are you doing for your birthday? Have you got anything nice planned? Are you visiting friends, family? Is there cake? If there's cake, what cake are you having? Are you getting anything nice? Are you going anywhere special? Are you making any particular jewellery or wearing anything nice on your birthday? You've got to go a bit fancy on your birthday. Have you got a birthday badge or hat or balloon? Let me know what you're doing. 14, 15 links through the next one. Add number belt. Really straightforward, nice, easy make, nice design to play with. Now you could do this with smaller beads. The beads that I'm using here are 8mm in size. So I think having that chain length just sits nicely around them. Pop on your next pearl. And that will keep them gathered nicely. $15 links again. Oh, the pearl on first. Through the 15th link, sliding down, adding a pearl, and then the last one, threading the pearl through the tiger tail, and then adding the chain on. Now when I've added my last link of the chain, I'm going to want to cut off the link next to it. So you can open it up with your pliers or you can come in with your cutters, and we're just going to make sure we're not cutting the tiger tail, we're not cutting the link that the chain is going through, we're just going to go that one below it, little cut through, do with some sharper cutters, there you go, and then just remove any excess that you may have. Now you're getting enough to make 2 necklaces, so your chain will probably just come in one long length. And then what you want to do is just add on however many pearls you started with here. 17 is going to go onto this side here. Now I think this necklace looks really nice without the drops and just having the chain as well, so that's an option for you if you want to, and I'll show you how that looks. So I'm just taking the tiger tail and sliding my pearls on, no chain going on in the middle now. Just making sure that I've got the same amount of pearls on either side, so my beaded chain section will sit nice in the middle and I've got even lengths on the other side. Okay, I'm now going to add my other culotte. And then picking up one crimp bead and sliding that on. So my crimp bead is sitting inside of the culotte, and then coming in with my pliers. So this is when my tweezer nose are quite handy, because what I can do is I can push down on that crimp bead so it's right at the bottom. I'm trying to hold it up to the camera at the same time. So it's at the bottom of the culotte, and I'm just flattening it out. And then adding my other one just for safety, double crimping, letting that crimp bead drop on top of the last one. Again, wanting to keep it flat in the same direction. So a little press. And then coming in with my cutters to trim off the excess tiger tail. Fire it across the room, close it over with my fingers, so I want to make sure that the crimp beads are sitting inside, and then again lightly pressing just to keep that closed up. So what I can do now is I can take my jump rings and I can open up my jump ring by giving it a little turn towards me and sliding it through one end of the culotte before closing it up, making sure it's closed. Oh, there's a slight delay on my camera, which always throws me off a little bit. And then I'm going to open the next one and slide that through the other culotte on the opposite side and add my clasp on as well, all of which is included in your Toty Beads kit. Now, I think, and it will kind of, have I done a double loop there and not put a bead on in between? Yeah, that was great. Clever Nat. Clever Nat. I have as well, haven't I? I've counted without putting the pearl on. So without the drops, you just have this pretty kind of chain effect. What I would do if you want to add the chain on is we're going to find the center. Now I've counted 15 links in the chain. So if I put the drop that I'm going to make on the 8th one, then I've got it right in the center. So I've got 7 links on one side, 7 links on the other, and then that 8th little one in the middle, I'm going to hook it onto there. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, but if you do use that number of links, then you are going to be able to have a central point on each one. Joanne says these are beautiful, and Heather saying loving the way of using the chain. Esther saying it's beautiful, it's gone in my basket. Natalie towards the middle of the drop, I think you missed a pill. I know, Joanne, but I didn't see your comment because I was focused on what I was doing. It's not the end of the world. I mean, what I could do is I could just remove that little bit of chain. I could cut that link off and I could cut that link off. Or I could just have a dangly one right in the centre. I think it is probably very central as well. Shall we see if I can fix it without redoing the whole thing? So what I've done is I haven't put the pearl on. I mean, it could be a design feature. Come on, let's fix it. We're all human, we make mistakes, so I might as well. So I want to make sure that I am taking off this link, not the one that it's attached to. And I can cut it, or I can just open it like a jump ring. So I'm going to open it like a jump ring. If I can just see, this is why the tweezer pliers will be helpful. There you go. Thanks, Joanne. I wish I'd spotted it sooner. There There you go. It's not the end of the world. It's an easy fix. Yeah. And then I want to take this one off. So I'm trying to find the opening here. Ta-da! There you go. That's better. So obviously when I'm laying it on the desk, you can't quite see it as lovely as it is. But if you just wanted to have the chain, it does give, in fact, let's put it on the bust. Let's put it on the bust. Yeah, I know, Camille, that would have been a good idea. I could have put an extra drop in the centre to make a little feature. But I didn't know whether I'd missed the proper central one, and that would look lovely, but it'd have to be right in the centre. So let me just get this positioned. If you wanted to just have the chain necklace, oh, here comes the sunshine. It does look, I think, really, really pretty. There you go. And you've still got that movement. John says it's called being in the zone. Human. Just one of them, isn't it? I've made 4 of these and not once made that mistake, and then come to do the demo, and there you go. Right, so to make my drops, I'm going to be using 2 colours of these beautiful pearl drops here. So I've got this kind of teal coloured one, and I have this one. So you can see they're similar in shade and tone, but different. So this one is the turquoise and the teal. So I just like the kind of colour combo, and I think they look lovely against those kind of sea glass as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my head pin. It's got a flush tip finish. I'm going to make sure when I pop my bead on, again, if you wanted to, you could turn them round and you could have maybe one colour dropping down that way and then one dropping down that way if you fancied, and you can alternate them that way too. That might be nice. I'm going to have them so they've got the widest bit at the bottom, and I want to make sure that the pearl sits flush at the bottom. So it might need a little bit of a push if, you know, there's a little bit of coating kind of stopping that, but they fit nicely. Now, if you want to, you can use your looper tool with this, which would mean I'm just going to slide that on through. And then I want to make sure that that pearl is close up to this part here, and it's going through the back. Now, as I start to close the handle by giving it a little bit of a squeeze, I'm just going to push down gently on that pearl. Can you see how I give it kind of a little turn out the way? And then as I close that all the way up, it should turn it, didn't fully. But then what I can do is I can come in with the round nose pliers if that happens. It's not going well today, is it, for me? Just put my round nose in and finish turning that all the way. Now I want it to sit at the top, but I want to make sure my loop is all the way closed. So these 2 points need to be meeting so it doesn't slide off. I'll do it again and I'll do it properly. So sliding that through, give it a little knock back, turn the handle, and that will cut off the pin and it will start to turn that loop for me as well. I want to just make sure it's fully closed, and then it might need to be recentered. There you go. Now if I don't have a loop tool, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to pop my pearl on, and then I'm going to give it a bend with my pliers. So I'm going to turn it really close to the top of the pearl at an almost 90-degree angle. And the reason I'm bending the pin is when I start to turn it, that loop will sit directly on the top. So I'm going to come in with my cutters and I'm going to trim, leaving about 1 centimetre there or thereabouts. So I'm going to hold on to this part because I don't want that to fire off. It's fair enough if a piece of tiger tail might go flying around the room. It's softer. You don't want that pinging off in your face or your eyes. And then going to take my round nose pliers, making sure the pin is not sticking out the back. Support the pearl between my finger and my thumb. Give it a little flick up and then turn my hand to just do little rotations all the way around to create a little loop at the top. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make 7 of one colour and 8 of another. So I'm going to alternate, not like that image mock-up. I am going to be alternating between the turquoise and the teal. So you can lay them out on your mat. And you'll find that because you've got 8 of one and 7 of the other, you'll start with the 8 of the other and finish with that same colour. And then all we need to do is now attach them. So I'm not opening up the chain. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my loop and I'm going to give it a little flip up, which is at the top of the pin. And you can again count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Find the 7th link, the 8th link, sorry, and go through the middle and then close that over. Lifting up the next one. You don't have to lay them out on the table in the order, but I just think when I get, again, in the zone, as Joanne said, I'll be able to see what I'm doing. You can just gauge it by eye if you want and say that's about the centre. Or if you've got your 15 links, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll go in on the 8th one. So try and get it if you want to be really particular. Like I'm going for this one here. Try and get it so your pins are kind of going in the same direction. So if it's easier to, what I mean by that is where the opening is, you kind of want them so the front of the necklace will be this way round and the opening is at the back. If it's easier to hook them through from behind, do it that way, or do it the front way. Try and keep them, if you can, the same, and that way each of the pins will hang nicely and you will have kind of a front or the back of the necklace. Doesn't really matter when you put it on, it'll look even more neater and professional finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the 8th one. Hooking it through and then making sure it's fully closed over. And we're just going to keep going with that as we go all the way along. You might want to keep picking it up and laying it down so it's easy for you to see. Flick it up. Find the centre. And make sure that's fully closed. So you can as well, if you want to, you can just hook over the chain. I'm going through the link and then it gives it more of a kind of pointed hang. If you're just going to hang your loop over the chain rather than going through the link, then depending on the size of your loops, it can move a little bit along the chain. If it's going through the link in the chain, it's at that fixed point then. Scooping it through, closing it over. So when you're wearing it, can you see how it creates those kind of V's, those little kind of points? Oh, thank you. Donette says, love this necklace. Thank you so much. It is a really straightforward make. I mean, you know, I've been showing you the products and making mistakes and chatting away and wishing Carol a happy birthday. So we've taken a lot longer than it would be for you to make this. It is a quick make. I did make up some of my pearls in advance. It's fairly straightforward and I think it's just a nice little make. So on with the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it was that one. But if I'm not sure, I can hook it on through. I've got 2 links there. And then I can count back on the other side. Yeah. So if you're using 15 links to the chain, so this is why I was being, I mean, you can measure it if you want to, but I quite like to be particular. I think when you've got, you know, straightforward make, you can take that extra bit of time to be counting and to be making sure that it's all perfect. And you can see that my loops are all kind of sitting this way on. So rather than having some with the opening that way and then others that way, there's too much focus on the desk. They're all going to be sitting the right way around. So a little flick to open. I'm not opening it much, just enough to kind of hook it on through. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that one would be the 8th link. I think it's the one next to it. And as I've just been going on about being particular, yeah, then I am going to change it. So keep it, it might be easy to keep it flat on the desk. And if you need to keep picking it up and laying it gently back down, you'll get your loop sitting where you need to. Hello Mina, how are you doing, my lovely? Thank you for joining us. If you are just joining us, this is the Regan drop necklace on Totally Beads. I am going to have a little look and see if those colours have been replenished for you. As soon as I finish this live, I can't do it while I can't message while I'm using my camera. It might just all go away. But at the moment, ivory and deep blue and white, blue and grey are looking as out of stock. But I'm pretty sure they won't be. So as soon as I finish the live, I will get Simon to update the website if possible. You can get 2 necklaces in your kit for just £9.89. So we'll get that rectified for you. And while we're doing it, I'll also tell him off for those shoddy images. I'm being asked, would it be easier to put the pearl drops on the chain first before stringing the pearls? Not for me, but it might be for you. I didn't try it that way. I suppose the reason why is I just think if I've got my chain as a long length here, what I'd be doing is I'd be counting 8, putting it on, and then counting another 7 to go through the Tigertail. So you could do it that way. I personally find it's easier to just go this way round with it, but you do whatever's most comfortable for you. What you can do is you can always just look by eye and go, that looks about centre. And it was. So I'm only counting because I can't think of a nice word to describe myself. I'm fussy. We'll just say I'm fussy. But you can't just go, that looks about centre. And I might just see how it looks and then count. No, it's the one next to it. In fact, for just speeding us up, I won't count. I'll know from that point that it's not exactly as it should be. So just hooking it through, centre link in the chain. I'm saying I'm particular, it's making me feel funny not doing it actually precisely, but you don't have to, because it will, as long as it's roughly in the middle of the chain, they're all still going to give the same effect. Hooking it on through and closing it over, just flattening it just to make sure that those drops of chain hang nicely for me to be able to count or hook. Has that gone through the link? and alternate your colours. However, if you're getting 2 kits, aren't you? So if you wanted, you could just have all of one colour. So you could do all of the teal drops and all of the turquoise drops, because you're going to have enough. If you did want to alternate the colour with that, little flick up, hook through the chain, close down properly. So I'm just, when I'm opening and closing it, I'm just doing that like I would do a jump ring essentially. So I'm flicking it up towards me, catching the chain, and then closing it down away from me. Yeah, Heather says if you're going to take your time, you can make it perfect. But that looks pretty perfect to me. That is as straightforward as this make is. This is your Regan necklace. I'll move it down a little bit more in shot. You can see the drops create these lovely little triangle shapes, and then you've got that lovely movement when it's worn as well. That's the word, Joanne. She said perfectionist. I think we're all a bit like that. I was going to go for a word beginning with A, which I probably shouldn't really say on camera. I like the way you're doing the chain. The other way would just confuse me. I think so too, Danette. I just think for me it would, I just work the way I work. But if you find a different way that works better for you, then by all means do what works for you. That's the joy of jewellery. There's no right or wrong way. There's no rules. I just show you the methods that work for me and the way I've learned. It's the same as, you know, something as simply as turning that loop on the drop. A lot of people will turn it where I will bend it before I then rotate the loop with my pliers. Everyone has their own way of working. Some people cut the pin first, I bend it, then cut the pin. It's whatever works best for you. So hopefully you've found a way that you think you would like to make this as well. Sheila says it's gorgeous. Heather says some shiny beads have just arrived. Ooh, what have you got? What makes are they? This was the Regan pearl drop necklace. I will, if I can, share the website again for you. I will as well just make sure that we can replenish that stock as needed as soon as possible. Maybe they've just been really popular and those pearls are now out of colour, that out of stock. That could be the case. And so we have the ivory and deep blue, we've got purple and lavender, we've got a sea glass, turquoise and teal, which is what I've just demonstrated, and then we've got a white, blue and a grey as well. If you have a little look in the, oh, it would help if I was sharing the screen. If you have a little look in on each colorway, it'll tell you exactly what you're getting in your kit. You can see this lovely lady wearing it, but you can see how they actually look as well on the mat. And I did take photographs of them on the bus because I think looking flat, you can see how the chain's kind of drooped up. This is on a flat surface, so I would have preferred to have had a bust photograph so you can see how they're true to life. You can see that pearl slightly moved up the pin. Gravity won't allow that to do that. I could just show you them down on the mat, couldn't I? But you can see all the measurements and all the different colours. Okay, so it's the silver grey pearls that seem to be out of stock there, so that's why that colourway is out. So if of course you think, well, I really want that particular colour, what you can do is you could always click on the individual products and you can add them, create your own kit as well if you wanted to. In terms of the amounts and numbers of things that I've used for these, well, I'm using in total about 45 centimetres of the Tigertail. I've got 7 pieces of one colour and 8 pieces of another colour in the drops. The 8mm pearls I'm using, I think it was 49 in total, and then in terms of the chain I'm using about 45 centimetres of that as well. Head pins will be 15 pieces because there's going to be 15 little drops, 2 culottes, 4 crimp beads, 2 jump rings, 1 lobster clasp and a partridge in a pear tree. That's basically it. So you could always put your your colours together. We do have other drops and things on the website, but of course you're getting 2 necklaces in this kit, and you're also getting your 10% discount. So if you're buying them individually, you might not get that extra lovely discount, whereas there's 10% off these. So they're making a wonderful at £9.89. Before I go for the last few minutes, because I'm not happy with the images, because they're not true to life, and I want to make sure that everybody knows what they're getting. This is how the one that I've just demoed is how the sea glass, turquoise and teal looks. You can see I've just turned the loops, I've alternated the colours perfectly, and they are beautiful. We have this gorgeous one here. I just think it'd look lovely with a little t-shirt. Here you will see I have the very gorgeous purple and lavender colourway. This is on the silver chain. There you go, so you can see how that looks. And then I also have, I should have just put them back on the bust, but I haven't, they're all over the place. This one here. Which is on the gold chain and your gold findings. This is the ivory and deep blue. And they're very gorgeous together. And then, lastly, but by no means least, if you've been lucky enough to grab yourself these ones. This one is the Regan drop necklace in white, blue and grey. Now, I don't think they are... see, this is now the silver grey drops are out of stock, but these to me are not silver grey. So I'm going to check what products on the website. I think these look like a pure white. So I am going to double check with Simon in the warehouse to make sure you're all getting the right things and you're all happy with what you've got. Thank you so much for joining me today. You've all been, Heather got the star sliders. Lovely. And Danette says, I love the purple for my church ladies. Well, I hope you have fun making them. I'm going to be back with you on Monday. I've got gorgeous little, they're like twisted tubes, and I'm going to be making them into a necklace. Really nice, easy project. It's a stringing project again, but because of these lovely little kind of twisted tubes I'm using, just gives a lovely shape to the necklace, if anything. So that's what I'm going to be doing with you on Monday, and then I'm going to be back with you Wednesday. So if you are watching, you can come and find me at 10 a.m. UK time. I'm not sure what time that might be for you, but in the UK it's 10 a.m. and I'll be here then. I hope you have a very, very lovely weekend. Thank you for being with me today. Stay safe, keep making.